Patreon.com/the Walk-Off Podcast. $4 a month gets you in there.
Who, in my opinion, is going to benefit greatly from being used in a different role this season than he was the last couple of years of being acquired. Number one, I want to give a shout out to friend of the show, Chris Black, one of truly the best follows on Blue Jays Twitter, @DownToBlack.
You sent me this thread, Twitter thread. You always do. You send it to me on Facebook Messenger. I read it. It's usually a tweet. It's interesting. It's a stat. It's a quote. It's a soundbite. Something worth pulling up. I was not expecting this. This is a big thread. Very interesting read. I only got a chance to skim it as I did my show notes here. I'm gonna link to this in the show notes.
Thank you.
And I do encourage everybody to check it out. It's not going to be fun for us to just read these graphs and these charts and describe the 40 videos and the overlays. It is a very thorough breakdown of Adam Cimber, and it is very much worth the 15 minutes or so it's going to take you to have a look. Anybody who's into the baseball, the deep dive analytics and stuff is going to enjoy that. It's very thorough.
And if you're into deep dive analytics and you're not already following Chris on Twitter, do it, because he is, again, one of the best follows on Blue Jays Twitter. So basically what this thread gets, the crux of it is Adam Cimber is an above average reliever and a weapon when used properly. He's got numbers up there with the best in the league when it comes to chase above rates, and the amount of soft contact that he induces is literally and truly elite. His numbers are great. He's got a funky delivery, and the way that his pitches play off each other, and this is what Chris kind of highlights here, is that he is so deceptive because his sinker and his slider, and if you look at the overlay, it is absolutely mind-blowing because it looks the exact same. Like, you cannot tell the difference in that delivery. And let me tell you, the sinker and the slider are two very different pitches. And if all you can do as a hitter and go up there and pick one and guess, makes the pitcher pretty darn deadly. I know you've got his numbers up here, Adam. I'll let you get into that over the last couple of years here of Adam Cimber.
Well, we're going to look at his numbers with Toronto specifically, and we'll start there. 2 years with
and
Toronto
maybe before you start, we will bring up the fact that with Anthony Bass being added at the trade deadline last year, with Eric Swanson being brought in, both high leverage guys, 8th inning guys, 9th inning guys, we're going to see Adam Cimber pushed into a 6th and a 7th inning role more often. And so I think that's important to keep in mind as Adam's going through the numbers, because obviously his numbers increase when he isn't in that 8th inning. Go ahead, Adam.
Okay, so broadly speaking, in the year and a half with Toronto, I love what I see for these numbers here. ERA 2.42. ERA, not the best measurement of a reliever, but whip, a better measurement. Very nice whip, 1.065. Opponent batting average. Now I've lost it. So let's not worry about that for in this moment. Very good in his time in Toronto, but yes, if we look at usage, I guess let's call it replacing the starter.
Yes.
He is so much more effective than being used as a setup man. So let's look at his numbers from 6 and 7 versus 8 and 9. Okay. The 9th inning is a little deceptive, so I want to address this right off the start. His numbers in the 9th inning are off the charts good. But that's because we have Jordan Romano as our actual closer. So anytime Cimber came in the 9th inning, and he did it 13 times for a total of 11 innings pitched last season, it was only ever in a blowout one way or the other.
Yeah.
Right? So we either have a 7-run lead or we're down by 7. Either way, both teams are just let's get out of here kind of a mentality. So
another thing that people don't give credit to Cimber for is his rubber arm, and that's why he's out in those type of situations. He led the Blue Jays bullpen in innings pitched last year.
Good point.
So he's going to be a workhorse back there.
So in the 9th inning, ERA 0, 0 earned runs across the 13 games he appeared in the ninth inning. Batting average 184 and an OPS of 442 and a whip of 0.63, which is absurd. So
it is absurd.
Which I think highlights a point that I had when Joel and I were talking WAR on Wednesday. A lot of we got roasted in the comments, and probably rightfully so. The numbers don't lie, and you guys are idiots when it comes to math. And it's like, okay, sure, but also there's nuances and context that just pretending that WAR is the be all end all is kind of absurd. And I think Adam Cimber's numbers in the ninth inning look phenomenal.
Yeah.
But
doesn't make him a closer.
You don't look at his numbers and go, well, he should be closing games for us. This is something that a lot of those advanced metrics aren't going to, I'm sure I'm probably going to be wrong. People are like, no, actually they do account for close games and high leverage situations, you freaking knob. So I don't know. I should just stop talking advanced metrics. I'm a bozo. I shouldn't even be talking baseball, let's be honest. Okay. Let's talk his numbers in the eighth inning compared to the sixth and seventh, okay? In the eighth inning, his whip is 1.279. Not bad. But his whip in the sixth and seventh inning combined is 1.078. 200
Much
points
better.
lower. Substantially better. His OPS in the eighth inning compared to the sixth and seventh goes from 708 to 668. 40 points better. Incredible. Batting average for opponents in the eighth inning, 275. In the sixth and seventh, 238. Pretty close to 40 points lower there as well. Substantially better in the sixth and seventh inning when he is coming in, again, replacing an Alek Manoah, replacing a Kevin Gausman. They've just, you've been seeing Alek Manoah, the bulldog, out there for 6 innings. And now comes in the gimmick of Adam Cimber. And I hate even calling it a gimmick because it feels derogatory.
A funky delivery, I think, is the politically correct way of saying that. Yes.
Sure.
But it's true, though. When you're looking at a guy like Kevin Gausman and his splitter and his delivery, and then you get a sidearmer like Adam Cimber,
who the ball's coming up at you.
A ball coming up and you can't tell the difference between a sinker and a slider, and you're just like, what are we doing here?
So, I don't know. If he is exclusively a sixth and seventh inning guy, I think Jays fans are going to be thrilled with Adam Cimber.
Listen, Adam Cimber still, you read his ninth or his eighth inning numbers. They're still decent numbers. They're still good numbers, but he is substantially better when he's facing the bottom of the order rather than the middle of the order. And that only goes to stem to reason. And there is a reason why guys like Jordan Romano are just built a little differently. Ninth inning guys, this is something that Joe Siddall talked about with us. Was that when it comes to relievers, it's easy to look at the numbers and be like, that's a closer, but not everyone has that mentality to do it, right?
Yeah.
It's a high leverage situation. It's a high pressure situation. Not everyone is built equally. And that's why we've seen Romano thrive in that scenario.